What is it now? Haven't Grey Wardens asked more than enough of the Circle?
I simply came to deliver a message from the revered mother, Sir Mage. She desires your presence.
What her reverence desires is of no concern to me. I am busy helping the Grey Wardens, by the King's orders, I might add.
Should I have asked her to write a note?
Tell her I will not be harassed in this manner.
Yes, I was harassing you by delivering a message.
Your glibness does you no credit.
Here I thought we were getting along so well. I was even going to name one of my children after you. The Grumpy One.
Enough. I will speak to the woman if I must. Get out of my way, fool.
You know, one good thing about the Blight is how it brings people together.
I know exactly what you mean.
It's like a party. We could all stand in a circle and hold hands. That would give the Darkspawn something to think about. Wait, we haven't met, have we? I don't suppose you happen to be another mage?
I am indeed a mage.
Really? You don't look like a mage. That is... I mean... how interesting. Wait, I do know who you are. You're Duncan's new recruit from the Circle of Magi. I should have recognized you right away. I apologize.
Nah, don't need to apologize. How could you recognize me?
Duncan sent word. He spoke quite highly of you. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Alistair, the new Grey Warden. Though I guess you knew that. As the junior member of the Order, I'll be accompanying you when you prepare for the joining.
Pleased to meet you. My name is Andrea.
Right, that was the name. You know, it just occurred to me that there have never been many women in the Grey Wardens. I wonder why that is.
Naughty, naughty. You want more women in the Grey Wardens, do you?
Would that be so terrible? Not that I'm some drooling lecher or anything. Please stop looking at me like that. So I'm curious. Have you ever actually encountered Darkspawn before?
No, I haven't.
When I fought my first one, I wasn't prepared for how monstrous it was. I can't say I'm looking forward to encountering another. Anyhow, whenever you're ready, let's get back to Duncan. I imagine he's eager to get things started.
That argument I saw, what was it about?
With the mage. The Circle is here at the King's request, and the Chantry doesn't like that one bit. They just love letting mages know how unwelcome they are, which puts me in a bit of an awkward position. I was once a Templar.
You were a mage hunter?
Not that that's all Templars do, but yes, the Chantry raised me until Duncan recruited me 6 months ago. I'm sure the revered mother meant it as an insult, sending me as her messenger, and the mage picked right up on that. I never would have agreed to deliver it, but Duncan says we're all to cooperate and get along. Apparently they didn't get the same speech.
What about the other recruits?
Davith and Sir Jory are here in the camp. Have you met them?
Yes, both of them.
That makes things easy then. They'll both be back with Duncan by now.
I look forward to traveling with you.
You do? Huh. That's a switch. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, lead on.
You have a adorable personality. Ooh, boy. Alistair, one good thing about the Blight is how it brings people together. Alistair was a Novus Templar when Duncan recruited him into the Grey Wardens, or rescued him, as Alistair would say. We have better things to get. Oh, yes. Runic Worry Token. Yellow sword and a shield. Not sword. No shield. This shield is better. And we have everything there. Could give him something. Maybe if I still have him.
Soldiers of Ferelden, my sisters and gentlefolk, we stand here on the
You found Alistair, did you? Good. I'll assume you're ready to begin
Ooh.
preparations. Assuming, of course, that you're quite finished riling up mages, Alistair.
What can I say? The revered mother ambushed me. The way she wields guilt, they should stick her in the army.
She forced you to sass the mage, did she? We cannot afford to antagonize anyone, Alistair. We don't need to give anyone more ammunition against us.
You're right, Duncan. I apologize.
Now then,
It's not his fault.
since you're all here, we can begin. You four will be heading into the Korcari Wilds to perform 2 tasks. The first is to obtain 3 vials of Darkspawn blood, 1 for each recruit.
What do we need Darkspawn blood for?
For the joining itself. I'll explain more once you've returned.
And what's the second task?
There was once a Grey Warden archive in the wilds, abandoned long ago when we could no longer afford to maintain such remote outposts. It has recently come to our attention that some scrolls have been left behind, magically sealed to protect them. Alistair, I want you to retrieve these scrolls if you can.
What kind of scrolls are these?
Old treaties, if you're curious. Promises of support made to the Grey Wardens long ago. They were once considered only formalities. With so many having forgotten their commitments to us, I suspect it may be a good idea to have something to remind them with.
And if they're no longer there?
It's possible the scrolls may have been destroyed or even stolen, though the seal's magic should have protected them. Only a Grey Warden can break such a seal.
I don't understand. Why leave such things in a ruin if they're so valuable?
It was assumed that we would someday return. A great many things were assumed that have not held true.
How will we find these archives?
It will be an overgrown ruin by now, but the sealed chest should remain intact. Alistair will guide you to the area you need to search.
Find the archive and 3 vials of blood. Understood.
Watch over your charges, Alistair. Return quickly and safely.
We will.
Then may the Maker watch over your path. I will see you when you return.
Yes, I need to talk to all of them before leaving. What are they doing? Okay, now I'm saved and talk. This is Alistair.
We need to get down to the wilds. The sooner you get this done, the better. Trust me.
No. Sorry guys, I need to go back to this one. I'm gonna have a chat with Alistair. Don't worry, when I do the conversation again, I'm not gonna skip it, because you already seen it.
Yes?
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
As I said, I was trained as a Templar before Duncan recruited me about 6 months ago. The Chantry raised me. and becoming a Templar was a decision made for me a long time ago. Duncan saw I wasn't happy, and figured my training against mages could double for fighting Darkspawn. Now, here I stand, a proud Grey Warden. The Grand Cleric wouldn't have let me go if Duncan never forced the issue. I'll always be grateful to him.
You didn't want to join the Chantry?
It just wasn't for me. I believe in the Maker well enough, but I never wanted to devote my life to the Chantry.
You speak fondly of Duncan.
I spent years in that Chantry, hopelessly resigned to my fate. Duncan was the first person who cared what I wanted. He risked a lot of trouble with the Grand Cleric to help me.
Maybe Duncan thought you would be useful?
Or maybe he just happens to be a good man.
I was just saying, don't hit me emotionally. I have a few questions for you.
What about?
The Grey Warden.
So I imagine. What would you like to know?
What makes you all so special?
The Grey Wardens are warriors without equal. Darkspawn threatened to destroy the world 4 times over. Each time, the Grey Wardens led mankind to victory. Nobody knows more about Darkspawn, and nobody's better equipped to deal with them. You'll see. Trust me.
So they're knights? Heroes?
I don't know if I'd go that far. Duncan says the Grey Wardens do whatever is necessary to protect mankind from Darkspawn. That means some pretty extreme things. Whatever it takes to bring victory.
I'm not sure I know anything about the Grey Wardens.
Well, let's see. Surely you've heard of Weishaupt Fortress? The great eyrie carved into the White Cliffs far off in the Anderfels? That's where the Grey Wardens once kept their griffins. The griffins died out, however, and our numbers have dwindled since the last Blight. There's only a handful left in Ferelden. A few more in other nations.
Where are all the Grey Wardens now?
The others are camped with the King's soldiers in the valley. The King's given us a position of honor at the vanguard, despite our small numbers. I think Kalen is actually excited to ride into battle with us. Maybe he thinks that's what his father would have done.
So the Grey Wardens have the right to recruit anyone?
King Marek, Kalen's father, reaffirmed the power the Grey Wardens were given during the Blights. In practice, we can't conscript too often without hurting our cause. We were exiled from Ferelden once. Best not to let that happen again.
That's all I wanted to know.
You want to ask me about something else?
The Blight Duncan mentioned.
Of course.
So what is a Blight? Where do Darkspawn come from?
You want the Chantry's version or the truth?
They aren't the same thing?
They seldom are.
What is the Century's version?
According to the Chant of Light, the Maker imprisoned the old gods underground long ago, as punishment for tricking mankind into worshipping them. The old gods still whispered to some men and taught them magic. These men became the Magisters of the Tevinter Empire. The Magisters used their gift to enter the Golden City, tainting it and themselves. They were cast out by the Maker and became the first Darkspawn. They fled underground, bringing their taint to their gods. The tainted old gods were the archdemons who rose from their prisons and led the Darkspawn against the world.
And the truth?
The truth is, we don't really know. They come up from the ground, and that's as far as we've gotten.
What you talked about was the first fight?
Yes, and it nearly wiped us out. When defeated, the Darkspawn flee back underground and seek out another old god to taint, thus bringing another blight.
So where is the archdemon for this blight?
We haven't seen it yet. People are beginning to think this is just an unusually large Darkspawn raid without an archdemon to unify them. But seriously, the archdemon could be in the wilds or underground. It could be hiding. Just because it hasn't shown itself doesn't mean it isn't out there.
Why not kill the Darkspawn when they're underground?
They've controlled the deep roads ever since they defeated the Dwarven kingdoms. Even if we invaded, we can only chase them so far.
What is an archdemon exactly?
The old gods were dragons, so the stories say. Big ones. Intelligent, even. The Tevinter Empire had big statues of them. Each dragon had a name and a place in the cosmos. It's all very intricate. The archdemons may not be the old gods, but they're definitely dragons.
Why are some people so skeptical?
The Grey Wardens killed so many Darkspawn by the end of the last Blight. People decided they were gone for good.
I have another question about the Blight. And I have other questions about the Blight.
Of course.
How do Grey Wardens defeat Blight?
We chop off the snake's head. It's the only way. According to texts, the most famous Grey Warden leader, Gamerafls, killed the Archdemon Underarl in personal combat at the Battle of Aesley to end the last Blight. Without the Archdemon to command them, the Darkspawn flee back underground.
How did anyone know about this Blight?
The Grey Wardens keep watch. We feel the Darkspawn when they come. You'll understand after the joining, if you well,
Right.
you'll understand. Not to mention people start to notice when Darkspawn pour out of the wilds and taint everything around them. Just a guess.
Just how many Darkspawn are out there?
Thousands? Tens of thousands? They've had centuries to build up their numbers.
That's all I wanted to know.
You want to ask me about something else?
Tell me about Duncan.
Duncan is the leader of the Grey Wardens in Ferelden. Which he would say doesn't mean much, as there aren't many of us here. Yet. Beyond that, he's a good man. A good judge of character. I owe him a lot. What about you? What do you think of him?
He did save me, but I wasn't in danger. I was in trouble. I owe him as well. He saved me.
That sounds familiar. He's done the best he can with what little he has. And that includes me, I guess. You want to ask me about something else?
The joining ritual.
There's not a lot I can tell you. We go and collect Darkspawn blood, and then you'll hear everything.
That's right. Surely you can tell me something.
Look, I can't tell you much, alright? The joining is very unpleasant. I wish I could forget it, but I can't. I don't envy what you're going to have to go through.
I can't say I'm thrilled by the idea.
I was scared out of my wits. But you get through it. You have to. If becoming a Grey Warden were easy, we wouldn't recruit the best. You want to ask me about something else?
They were recruited best. This upcoming battle.
The one tomorrow. I'll tell you, it's Tairn Loghain we should be looking to win it, not the king. Kaelin just wants his place in history. The Tairn is planning the strategy. That's my opinion, anyway. I guess I should be thankful the king favors us Grey Wardens. But I know who's keeping the lid on the pot.
How much will I be participating?
You know, that's a good question. The other Grey Wardens are riding into battle with the king. I don't know if you'll be with them.
Why is it happening here, of all places?
We're at the edge of the Korkari Wilds, the eye of the Blight Storm, right where the Horde will be coming. Ostagar itself is an excellent defensive position. The Wilders were pushed back from here time and again in ancient days.
What are the chances of success?
I'm sure Tern Loghain has the battle planned to the last detail. Still, no blight has ever been defeated with so little cost.
What if we fail?
If we don't break the horde here, Duncan says it will spread until it engulfs all of Ferelden. Then it will take an alliance of nations to fight it, which would be bad. Neither the king nor the Tern really seems to believe this is a real blight, however. You want to ask me about something else? Then let's get a move on, shall we?
Let us consider the people before us.
Oh, you personal. How many is that? 6?
You found Alistair, did you? Good. I'll assume you're ready to begin prep. You four will be heading into the Korcari Wilds to perform 2 tasks. The first is to obtain for the joining itself. I'll explain more once you've returned. There was once a Grey Ward. It has recently come to our attention that some scrolls have old treaties, if you... They were once considered only formalities. It's possible it was assumed that we would someday return. It will be an overgrown ruin by now, but the sealed chest should remain. Watch over your charge.
Into the portfolio in the next episode.